Okay, today our lesson is accentuate the negative 3.1, and we're going to start multiplying integers today. All right, so let's look at 3.1, and there is a number line and we have some students here on the number line. We'll refer to this as we work through some of the problems in 3.1. So if you have the online textbook up and ready to go on a different tab, that would help. So we're going to start by talking about this guy, Han, who is at 0. All right, so Han starts at 0, and he can run 10 feet in 1 second. Okay, so in 1 second, where will he be? Let me write that down. So if Han can run 10 feet in 1 second, where will he be in 1 second? Okay, so where will he be on this number line? If this number line represents feet, he's at 0. He can run 10 feet in 1 second. Where will he be in 1 second on the number line? Paige.
10 feet.
He'll be at the 10. All right, he'll be on the 10 because 10 times 1 equals 10. Okay, so if we go back to the original problem, all right, he can run 10 feet in 1 second. Where will he be in 2 seconds? So I'm going to just do ... in 2 seconds. Where will he be? Bailey.
20.
He'll be at the 20. All right. Where will he be in 3 seconds? James?
30.
All right, he'll be at the 30. All right, so now if we go back to the original problem and we say, okay, Han can run 10 feet in 1 second. He's at the 0. Where was Han 1 second ago? So if he's at the 0, we know that he runs 10 feet per second. Where was he 1 second ago, Lily? He was at the -10. Good. So again, ... Where was he 2 seconds ago? Shelby? He was at the -20. Very good. All right, so let's take what we just talked through and let's look at that in number sentence form. All right, so what we did was 10 times a -2 was a -20. 10 times a -1 will give us a -10. 10 times 0 is 0. 10 times 1 will be 10. And 10 times 2 will be 20. Okay, so let's look at the patterns in each column. All right, so what's column 1? All 10s. Column 1 is all 10s. All right, now what does column 2 look like? Like what if you could read your numbers sideways? I had it like that. and then we're sideways. What does 2 look like, Braden? It does look like a number line. Very good. All right. Now what about column 3? A number line, but it's in increments of 10. Okay, very good. All right, so what we need to do is find a pattern so that we can make a rule. So let me give you another series of number sentences. All right, so what if I have -5 times a -2? 5 times a -1 is a +5. -5 times 0 is 0. -5 times 1 will give us -5. -5 times 2 is -10. Okay, so let's look at this column. All right, this time, column 1. What do we see? All -5s. Column 2. Looks like the number line again. All right, now column 3 is a little different because why? It's by 5s. Yeah, and it's also in reverse order. Okay, but do we see a pattern developing? Well, that's not going to matter. Anything times 0 is still 0.
Like you said last time, 2 wrongs make a right on this.
All right, so Paige is remembering our subtraction lesson when we were subtracting a negative integer, we could do 2 wrongs make a right. Okay, well, we are going to see that similar pattern today. All right, so what we're going to write now in the back is the love-hate relationship of integers. Okay?
And like the last pair of numbers that we did, it took the higher number. Like if the higher number was a negative, then they put a negative sign, and if the higher number was a positive, it took the positive sign.
That's going to be in adding.
Yes.
We're not going to do that same thing with multiplying. But don't forget that for adding, okay? All right, so here's our love-hate relationship of integers. All right, so love, let's do a little key. All right, we're going to represent love with positives. And we're going to represent hates with negatives. Okay? All right, so number 1. If you love to love, that's a good thing, isn't it? That's positive. So if you love to love, that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. If you love to hate,
Nope.
that is bad. That's negative. Okay, so if we love to hate, that's a bad thing. If you hate to love, that's also bad. You shouldn't hate to love. That's also negative. So if we hate to love, that's bad. But if you hate to hate, that's good. No, if you hate to hate, you don't like hating, that's positive. If you hate to hate, that's positive. Or if you still like 2 wrongs making a right, it'll work for multiplying 2. 2 wrongs making a right, that's fine. So if we look at all of these patterns, we can see, okay, if it's positive and positive, that's just normal multiplication that we're all used to. If either one of your integers is negative, the result will be negative. It doesn't matter the size of the integer. If you've got any negative, then you're going to have a negative answer there, all right? But if you have 2 negatives, the 2 wrongs will make a right. So if we can remember that, then we can multiply integers, and it's just as simple as remembering if you have 1 negative sign to make your answer negative, and then you just multiply like normal. So I just want to give you a few problems, and let's see how you do. Okay, 4 times 3. So positive times a positive equals a positive. So our answer is simply, yeah. All right, now we have positive 4 times a negative 3. We have 1 positive and 1 negative. So all we do is say 4 times 3, which we know is 12. And because we have 1 negative, it means our answer will be negative 12. Thank you. All right, here we have a negative 4 times a negative 3. We have 2 negatives. Shelby? 2 wrongs make a right, and we get another positive 12 answer. Okay, this can work the same way if you have fractions. So let's say we have 1/2 times a negative 3/4.
I put if you love to love, that's good.
Yes, if you love to love, that is positive. All right, so remember when we multiply fractions, all you do is multiply across the top and across the bottom and reduce. Okay, so one of them's positive, one of them's negative. So the result will be a negative sign. So then 1 times 3 is
3.
and 2 times 4 is
8.
And that's all there is to it. Also, let's remember if we have exponents. So let's say we have a negative 3 and we want to square it. Okay, so when we square a number, does that mean we would say 3 times 2?
No.
It would be what?
3 times 3.
So therefore, you have to take whatever's inside the parentheses and you have to multiply it twice. So this would be a negative 3 times a negative 3. All right, well, what's 3 times 3?
9.
Okay, but we have 2 wrongs, so it makes a right. So we'll get a positive 9 for our answer. Okay, one other thing. Let's say we have negative 4 But this time, let's say we're going to cube it. Okay, does that mean 4 times 3?
No.
No. Okay. So, yeah. But it's a negative 4, so it'll look like this. Negative 4 times a negative 4 times another negative 4. Okay, so we follow just like order of operations. We'll do one little piece at a time. So you start here. Negative 4 times a negative 4. A positive 16 because 2 wrongs make a right. Alright, then you have to bring down what we didn't use. We didn't do the other negative 4. So now we have a positive times a negative. So the answer will be negative. So then 16 times 4. $64. Negative 64 will be that answer. Okay, any questions?